What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream. Before we get started, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're watching this over on YouTube. Make sure to like and share if you're watching over on X. And big shout out to VeChain for being my sponsor here for the foreseeable future. So if you want to check out VeChain and their awesome ecosystem of tokens and apps and all those sorts of things, I'm going to be having more content put out on my channel. Make sure you check that link out in the description and in the first comment on the X page. What's up, chat? How we doing? And of course, we're going to be talking about some XRP drama and some Cardano drama, and just pretty much how the crypto market has been pretty bullish lately, and the bull market may be back. Now, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I see the chat. I'm going to be responding to the chat a little later, but I do want to get to the news just to make sure everybody's filled in, and we'll speak with the chat a little after. I see Selmo Fudd. I see Honda. What's up? I see Glenn in there. What's up, babies? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you guys here and back in the game. And shout out for Honda for being a member for 6 months on the channel. All right, so the overall cryptocurrency market today kind of just trading sideways. We do have a couple clear winners. Aave, Fartcoin looking pretty good. CRV, and obviously these are the this is the daily pretty much chart of cryptos, and pretty much like market cap size, right? You're not going to see everything in here, but the bigger market cap sizes. Litecoin down, IP down a little bit today. Okay, so last week was pretty interesting because we had the highest weekly close in history for Bitcoin, which is pretty good. Now, I know we hit all-time highs, I think back during Trump's, after he got elected, pretty much before the inauguration or right around it, but we didn't close high at all. So we closed around $106,000, which was pretty damn good. So last week was pretty bullish for crypto. Now, a lot of people are saying it could be a double top for Bitcoin. Obviously, double tops in trading, are bad. But I don't know. This bull run seems a little different, right? Obviously, we had the top over here in January 21st, literally a day after he got inaugurated. And real quick, shout out to Giga for sending me some merch, little wristband. Giga Chat, what's up? Make sure to share this. You know what I mean? What's up, Jayhawk? How we doing? Shout out to the Giga Chad fam. I appreciate the merch. And one of the most bullish projects on Solana. Of course, we'll get to some meme coins here in a little bit. But let's continue with the news. So we did have a double top, or we do have one going for Bitcoin. We'll see if that really plays out. Technical analysis, like I always say, is kind of like astrology for men. But, I think that some of it is legit and some of it, whatever. The overall cryptocurrency market cap sitting at $3.34 trillion right now. Fear and greed index at 68. So people are still kind of greedy right now. Ethereum looking pretty good overall. Remember, ETH has been kind of like, I'd say ETH has been kind of like really disappointing, right, in the grand scheme of things. Like if this was 2021 and you told me that Bitcoin would be at $110,000 and Ethereum wouldn't even be close to its all-time high, definitely would have said you were crazy and those sorts of things, right? But hey, it is what it is, right? So Ethereum sitting at $2,500, which a lot of people actually like. XRP sitting pretty at $2.35. We'll talk about some XRP drama here in a little bit. BNB looking good. Solana looking pretty good. Dogecoin, obviously big daddy of meme coins, looking pretty good. Cardano, obviously we have some drama with Cardano and XRP today. We'll talk about Tron. And obviously the winner, I think, of this cycle has been Sui, right? Sui's been awesome. Right. Obviously, this thing came into the space around 2023, and they're just doing so much. We're going to have a big Sui segment today. So those are our top 10 cryptos. And if we go to meme coins, of course, our favorite category on this channel, memes are looking pretty good too. Obviously, things are down a little bit today and over the last week, but this month has been really bullish for the entire space, including meme coins. Dogecoin looking good. Shiba Inu looking good. Pepe. Now, what's interesting is that I do think, and I made a video about this, that Pepe is going to eventually flip ship. People call me crazy, but I just think so. And it's really close, right? About $3 billion in market cap size off. And we've seen massive pumps with Pepe, 11 billion being its all-time high. I think that when it's all said and done, I do think that Pepe will flip Shiba Inu. Trump, of course, sit here looking pretty. Bonk, Fartcoin, obviously the winner, I'd say. Like kind of the guy that was not really in the top 10 cryptos or meme coins for a while, just kind of coming in and fucking dunking on other Solana meme coins. We have Dog with Hat, Floki, Punchy Penguins looking good. Shout out to Murad, SPX looking good. Brett making an all-time recovery, which is absolutely insane. You know what I mean? So that's pretty bullish. ApeCoin, which, remember, ApeCoin launched back in 2022, I believe, in the middle of the bear market and was kind of disappointing, making a big comeback. We like that. Popcat, Mog, Turbo, Dog, and I think we have Giga Chad down here somewhere. Giga right here, 194 ranked crypto. in the entire space, sitting at a $220 million market cap size. Thank you so much for the merch again, Giga. All right. So what happened with XRP? So check this out. So Brad Garlinghouse, Big Daddy CEO of XRP, said he was heading to DC to champion sensible pro-crypto legislation around stablecoins and market structure. And I'm very encouraged to see our elected officials look at crypto as it should be, a multi-chain industry. That said, so obviously Senator Lumens, right, pro-Bitcoin, big champion of Bitcoin in our government, has been holding it down for us crypto plebs for a long time, right? I guess she kind of flaked on her boy, right? As chair of the Digital Assets Subcommittee, canceled a meeting with me and won't reschedule. So there's been some beef between XRP and Bitcoin for a while. A lot of people are saying that XRP is the next Bitcoin. You can't compare the two. You can't compare the two, right? It's just crazy to me, right? But obviously, there's big cults on each side, right? Bitcoin maxis just think everything else is trash, and Bitcoin is, Bitcoin's the only crypto that really matters, which you can make an argument for that. But there's other people that are altcoin maxis and especially XRP maxis, right? As a leader in Congress and senator from one of the most crypto-friendly states, I hope you will reconsider and be a leader for all crypto. I invite you to join me on X-Space anytime or a live convo on stage at one of the many events we cross paths at to talk about how to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world, as in the goal of the Trump administration. I will continue to do everything possible to support that goal. So pretty interesting, right? Senator Loomis flaking on Brad G and the XRP community, which is interesting. So I wonder why. I wonder what's going on with that. I think the XRP has a bright future. We see some insane price predictions online, but I think that, $10 this cycle is pretty good. Shout out to Krusty in the chat, Fred in the chat, Honda, what's up? Pepe on Sweet, what's up, babies? We'll get into some meme coins here near the end of the stream, during like the Q&A and stuff like that. But interesting, right? So Brad G getting flaked on, right? But some good stuff for XRP. So shout out to Wendy O with some good XRP news. So CME Group launched XRP and micro XRP futures today. CME is one of the biggest derivative exchange. XRP futures, 50,000 XRP. Micro XRP futures, 2,500 XRP. Both are cash settled. Past future launches had mixed effects. Bitcoin future launch in 2018 marked the top of the bull market and allowed institutional shorting. So ETH futures launched in 2021, didn't stop its price from rising for months. So what we can get from this pretty much is that we don't know what's going to happen, right? CME launched Sol futures earlier this month. Coinbase launched XRP futures recently. So I think that when it comes to XRP, there's a lot of good news out there. And I think what we can take away from a lot of this news is that no one knows what's up with this cycle. Things are different, right? We don't know, if this is following the same 4-year traditional path that we usually have. It doesn't seem like that. Obviously, things are way different this cycle with all of the institutions getting into crypto and those sorts of things. Now, it's nice to see a pro-crypto, president, pro-crypto government, those sorts of things. So it's just different. It's hard to compare this cycle to previous cycles, and especially with changes in the SEC and stuff like that. So a post from Paul Barron, breaking: Ripple and Coinbase are now in a bidding war for Circle, right? Circle, the issuer, the second largest stablecoin by market cap size, USDC. Sources say Ripple has the upper hand at a $9 to $11 billion price tag, XRP, USDC crypto, which is interesting because they have their own stablecoin in RLUSD. So we'll see who wins that bidding war, but that was a big piece of news. We'll talk about VeChain here in a second, but this is interesting. So we have a message from the new chair of the SEC, Paul Atkins, and this is from Altcoin Daily, and the title is SEC Chair Paul Atkinson's bold message to crypto holders. This is a new day at the SEC. Now, I think a lot of people were saying, crime is legal, crime is back, those sorts of things. But I still think they're going to lay the hammer down and and protect investors in their own way.
Say that it is a new day at the SEC. I'm determined that we return to our core mission that Congress set for us more than 90 years ago. The SEC's three-part mission, as the chairman stated earlier, was enunciated by Congress in the Exchange Act, and that's investor protection, which is vital to our mission, holding accountable those who lie, cheat, and steal. Capital formation is also at the root of what we do, fostering a direct economical route for investors' capital to find its way to entrepreneurs and industry to create products and services. And the third core part of our mission is maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets. Congress calls on the Commission to ensure that our regulations balance costs and benefits, that they do not become too burdensome by adding needless friction to the marketplace, thereby undermining the capital formation that yields so much benefit. My time in public service and in the private sector has allowed me to see firsthand how regulations affect markets and investors. They can stoke innovation, facilitate investment goals, and create opportunities or burdens on businesses' ability to compete and to serve their customers. How we implement regulations at the SEC is crucial. It's one thing to write a regulation, quite another for it to achieve its intended goal. Regulation should be smart, effective, and appropriately tailored within the confines of our statutory authority.
Now that's important, right? Because obviously, during the last cycle, Gary Gensler ruled the crypto space with an iron fist, right? A lot of people thought it was unfair was with what he was doing. And this is kind of relates, right? Honda, shout out to you for the $2 Canadian donation, says, everyone is fading Richard Hart, and I'm grateful. I think his charges with the SEC got dropped. I'm not sure what's up with the Interpol red notice, but, obviously Richard Hart, creator of Hex and those sorts of things. Let's continue.
A key priority of my chairmanship will be to develop a rational regulatory framework for crypto asset markets that establishes clear rules of the road for the issuance, custody, and trading of crypto assets while continuing to discourage bad actors from violating the law. Clear rules of the road are necessary for investor protection against fraud.
And that was a big part too, right? Clear rules and regulations for people to kind of abide by. And that's what a lot of you couldn't, if you were like a legit crypto project, it was hard to be seen differently in the eyes of the SEC. Now, I think the SEC didn't do a bunch of bad work. I don't think it was all bad, right? I think that, they did a lot of good stuff in the space, getting rid of some of the people that were blatantly scamming people. But there was a lot of legit companies who got wrecked, right?
Policymaking will be done through notice and comment rulemaking, not through regulation by enforcement. The Commission will utilize its existing authorities to set fit-for-purpose standards for market participants. The Commission's enforcement approach will return to Congress's original intent, which is to police violations of these established obligations, particularly as they relate to fraud and manipulation. The SEC is returning rulemaking to regular order. Our comment periods will not be artificially short, and the public will have ample time to provide feedback. The SEC will also be sure to take into consideration how rules overlap and how regulatory burdens build, in keeping with our obligation to consider their costs and the benefits. There will be targeted, common sense reorganizations to come at the SEC. To start, I'm seeking approval from Congress to disband what's known as FinHub. Its innovation should be ingrained into the culture SEC-wide and not limited to a relatively small office. We've begun a process to review our technology infrastructure and our contractual obligations. So to close, we will work with our colleagues in the administration, especially other financial services regulators, and with Congress to bolster the economy and build on U.S. leadership of the global markets. This SEC will take every effort to ensure that the United States is the best and the most secure place in the world to invest and do business.
Nice. So hopefully we get those clear rules and regulations. I think we will. It's obviously changing in the guard, but pretty nice to see Paulkins out there explaining what he's going to do for us in the space and just protecting investors and those sorts of things. So pretty sweet. Shout out to Paul Atkins. Pepe on Sweet says this cycle is never going to end. Gold rush started last year. I hope so. So check this out. So this is from CoinMarketCap, right? And I haven't really seen this. I mean, CoinMarketCap is pretty big, but I haven't seen this everywhere yet. So CMC News. ADA Hoskinson faces $600 million treasury fraud claims. Those some strong words, right? Because obviously, Cardano, big community, top crypto, been a top crypto ever since its existence pretty much. So check this out. So Hoskinson faces $600 million treasury fraud claims. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson has denied allegations of misappropriating $600 million worth of Cardano tokens from Cardano's treasury. The claims center around a 2021 Allegra hard fork involving 318 million Cardano tokens and quote, move instantaneous rewards transactions. Hoskinson stated that most of $350 million in Cardano was redeemed by original buyers over 7 years. The Cardano founder is preparing to release an audit report on treasury holdings following the community backlash. So obviously we're going to be looking towards this. I mean, if this is true, this is going to be huge news. I haven't seen a lot of people reporting on it. I saw the story this morning, but if anything is like shady here or smells bad, that's going to be a big deal, right? So Hoskinson expressed being, quote, deeply hurt by the community's mistrust after the allegation surfaced. He confirmed plans to turn over his social media account to a media team after the audit report. The remaining unclaimed tokens after 7 years were donated to Intersect, according to Hoskinson's. Cardano community continues to scrutinize the network's governance and treasury management. So maybe it's a problem they've had for a while that's just being brought to light. But you can see some of the comments saying it's fake news and those sorts of things. But interesting. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Obviously, huge news if any of that's true. You know what I mean? This is the funny video that Whalefoot put out. Remember, this is all allegedly, right?
Charles, when people ask you, what business are you in? What do you say?
I used to say I print money for a living.
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those sorts of things. All right, so every time Ethereum, okay, let's move on to Ethereum. Every time Ethereum starts pumping, we see some of this, right? So Ethereum co-founder Jeffrey Wilk sends $262 million of ETH to Kraken, right? Usually when people send, Ethereum or crypto to an exchange, it's usually to cash out, maybe, but mostly So that's interesting. I feel like every time Ethereum has some sort of pump, we hear about some sort of co-founder or some sort of ICO investor like sending massive amounts of Ethereum to an exchange. So that's interesting. It's like, can we just let us get a pump? Now look at this boy's cashing out $262 million. Maybe why would you do that? That's what I'm saying. If you're moving it to a cold storage, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Give me 1 second. Let me ask my boy to share the space real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So, and appreciate it. Guilo says he likes the Giga shirt. Hell yeah. Shout out to the Giga community. But yeah, every time ETH starts to pump, can we just stop the selling? Can we stop the selling for a little bit? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens with that. But that was an interesting piece of news. Also, check this out. So Argentina President Javier Milei shuts down unit investigating Libra crypto scandal. So Libra was one of the biggest like crypto, you could say rug pulls, pump and dumps, multi-billion dollars of market cap size. And now it's currently around a $14 million market cap. And there was an investigation in him and those sorts of things. But obviously, if you're the president, I guess you could shut that down. So check this out. The Argentine government dismantled the investigation task force, a body created just 3 months ago to investigate the Libra cryptocurrency scandal and the roles of President Javier Milei and his sister Karina, according to a decree published in the official Gazette. The decision was signed by Milei and Justice Minister. How are you going to shut down and invest like your own investigation? You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy, right? Kind of crazy, right? The decision was signed by Milei and Justice Minister Mariano Cuneo Liberona. The UTI was tasked with investigation allegations of irregularities after Milei publicly promoted the Libra crypto token on X in February, causing the cryptocurrency's value to rise then fall. The unit, quote, has fulfilled the functions it is assigned to according to the decree. So apparently he's saying that it's already investigated and maybe found no wrongdoing. I didn't think anything was going to come in this from the beginning. And maybe from the very beginning, it was just something, just to shut people up because people in the crypto space have short memories and people are probably not going to remember this in a few more months. Right. So interesting, update on that, just because I think one of the guys who launched it or was heavily involved was interviewed by like CoffeeZilla, made like $100 million or something like that. And I guess no one cares anymore. So we'll see. Interesting price prediction. So Standard Chartered Bank says SEC data supports Bitcoin reaching $500,000 by 2028. You guys think Bitcoin can hit $500,000 by 2028? You're welcome, Brett. Yeah, shout out to the chat here. Interesting. Okay, so this is Sui, right? Obviously, Sui, one of the bigger altcoins of the cycle, pretty much, I'd say, the clear winner when it comes to the altcoins that you should be getting. And we were talking about, Sui around $1. It hit like a $5 all-time high. And it's currently at $3.80. Remember, just, it literally just entered the crypto space this cycle, 2023. And they're doing a lot of big things in the space, most notably Sui Play, which is their gaming console. Solana did something similar with a phone, and no one really talks about that. But I think that crypto gaming is a sector that people haven't really figured out, and I think that's that's an issue, right? Because there were some good gaming hubs like Gala Games that got pretty popular. I know that Avalanche, the Avalanche blockchain, is doing things with gaming, but no one's created a console. So pretty interesting. And I've heard they're getting all different types of IPs, like for Pokemon and those sorts of things. And obviously the Sui ecosystem with tokens is doing well, like top meme coins, right? Meme coins, in my opinion, meme coins are like a good sign of how well an ecosystem is doing. And I know it seems crazy, but meme coins are a big part of crypto. And when you have like banger meme coins on your network and people are buying different meme coins and trading meme coins, that's good for your network altogether. And what's the cool thing about Sui is that Adeni really leans into that. Like he's just a big, in my opinion, like a nerdy degen developer, and we have Lofi, we have Pepe on Sui, right? We have Squirt, like all these different meme coins, like that's a big deal, right? And I mean, these guys are literally making the rounds. Base get ahead of their base camp, which is really successful. I mean, on YouTube, they got some insane numbers, which we don't see like insane numbers from crypto projects, or just really for anything that's not like hype content, right? I'm going to show you some of the numbers from their base camp, and you be the judge, right? Because I see, let me see. I see like Binance making videos and all these different people making videos, and they don't get they don't get like these insane numbers. So we go to videos, we go to popular, like this is 84,000 views 8 months ago. This is 2 weeks ago, 76,000 views, 23,000 views on the sweep play and those sorts of things. So they're doing really, really good. So what's up, Axel the Bengal Cat? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Interesting. So this is what he had to say about crypto and gaming.
Always been near and dear to us, right? We focus on gaming because it was the hardest problem to solve, but also it's a beacon for technology. If you look at the engineering work that went to solving the problems around cooling, immersion cooling, data center deployment, fiber optics and bandwidth, gaming pushed the boundaries on what was possible to a large degree. And we will also see the same thing with AI and now crypto as well. So gaming as a business model problem, where there's a mass plethora of these free-to-play games that's become duly saturated. We're now seeing a lot of new studios who are making bets on new business models for gaming. And we believe that model is going to be way more engaging. It's going to require an element of ownership for users. It's also going to require new ways of maintaining, sustaining your user base, spending less money, and also finding a way where user-generated content is something that can be rewarded from a content creator point of view. So we're fully embracing gaming. We believe the early onset of gaming is going to happen. The growth of gaming is going to happen by cryptographic platforms like Sui. To that point where we've made a bet on an operating system called Playtron, and we're launching the Sui Play 0x1. That shows our commitment towards gaming. But also we believe that wherever gaming goes, Sui is going to be there. And by 2030, we believe majority of gamers will have a wallet. But we think they will not know that wallet exists. In their mind, it's just an element of gaming, namely the ability to own, trade, earn, transfer. All that is going to be capabilities. Whether it manifests itself as a wallet or some other scheme, we don't really care. What matters is the thing that makes it possible is going to be trustless platforms like Sui.
That's big, right? Obviously, gaming is a big industry. What's up, Kayla? How we doing? Yes, we're back, baby. So obviously, gaming, huge sector. Crazy, lucrative industry. Obviously, with streaming and streamers and battle royale games and just gaming in general. And if crypto any project can be a part of that in a different way, I think obviously they can be really big, right? So we'll see what Sui can do. There's all sorts of things we see being talked about every day. So Microsoft Fabric integrates Sui. I mean, I don't know how true some of these posts are, but very interesting. And obviously a lot of people are choosing Sui. We see the meme coins on Sui doing well, and check this out. So Sui network tops the charts with $148 million net stablecoin inflows the past 24 hours. And you look at that compared to other networks, I mean, it's insane, right? So obviously Ethereum's losing a lot, Solana's losing a lot. A lot of people are stagnant. And then we start to see the winners: BNB, Mantle, Base, Tron, Avax, Polygon, which is interesting, Arbitrum, and then Sui just blowing everybody out of the water. And this is obviously the last 24 hours. I'd like to see like last few months, but pretty big news, right? I thought NFTs were dead, but this was pretty interesting. So we saw a CryptoPunk sell for 440 ETH. I don't know if NFTs can ever make that proper comeback. We'll see. This was news that was supposed to be earlier in the stream, but it said head of crypto task force Hester Pierce shares views on NFTs. Many non-fungible tokens are also not securities, including NFTs, designed to compensate their creators over time. So like something we've been saying, I think a big argument before was, are NFTs securities? And it's like, are Pokemon cards, securities, or, what I mean? They're just collectibles. That's how we see them, even though some of the lines are kind of blurred around that, right? There was a huge bill, right? So check this out. So tonight's vote on Genius Act is a huge step forward in advancing the dollar digital currency as the foundation layer of the internet financial system. So obviously huge, right? For cryptocurrency, stable coins. And what's interesting is that, Elizabeth Warren obviously, said she was spearheading the war on crypto. Obviously those narratives have kind of died, but she's not happy about this. And Kevin O'Leary had something about her anti-crypto agenda hurting America.
They're debating right now the Genius Act, which involves stable coins. Here's what Elizabeth Warren said, and then I want to get your reaction on the other side, Kevin.
For the first time in American history, this bill will make our president, Donald Trump, the regulator of his own financial product.
Now, there has been bipartisan support for this, but that's the argument on the other side. What would you say to the senator?
Well, first of all, let's talk about Elizabeth Warren. She not only has Trump derangement syndrome, she has crypto derangement syndrome. That's a powerful cocktail of confusion for her. This bill has nothing to do with Trump. This is a digital payment system that establishes the US dollar as a default currency around the world for price discovery on every commodity on earth. Why wouldn't she want that? Why wouldn't every American want that? This is the definition of what currency will be in digital payment systems. If we don't want it, the Chinese will do it with the yuan. You don't want that. This is a chance to move forward a technology that's incredibly productive for digital payment systems, large and small businesses alike. What she's doing right now is un-American. She's trying to tie this bill to Trump. It has nothing to do with meme coins, nothing to do with
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Though, about the family business and some of the properties and stable coins within some of those.
All is fair in love and war, in particularly politics, but this is completely deranged what she's doing. As we speak, she could stymie American technology and advancement on digital payment systems, which has nothing to do with Trump.
Like, something we've been talking about for a while in the crypto space is that, crypto is one of those things where we can ignore it, but everyone else is going to embrace it. And that's something, and just like AI, we don't want to be left behind with, pretty much, right? We don't want to be, second to China when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption, and just having like Bitcoin as a reserve. If you're in the crypto space, you believe in the future of crypto, blockchain technology, Bitcoin, we don't want to be behind them. And I think what, she's talking about, and what a lot of people are alluding to, is that, dude, the Trumps are big into crypto, right? World Liberty Finance, obviously, they're buying all tons of cryptos. We have a lot of the Trumps coming out, supporting cryptos. Eric Trump, really, bullish on, even though he made that famous tweet saying, now is a good time to buy Ethereum at $3,000, and it dumped crazy. But he talked about SWI and other cryptos. He's been on all sorts of different media outlets, talking about crypto. And we have people like, Donald Trump Jr., like on live spaces with different meme coin projects, let's say a lot of shitcoin projects, but they're really embracing crypto. We heard that Barron is a huge, crypto degen. I think there was a live stream with famous influencer Aiden Ross, where he asked to borrow $250 in Ethereum from Barron Trump, which is interesting, and Elizabeth Warren is trying to say that Trump is just trying to, pass these rules and regulations for himself and these different bills to benefit himself, which I do think there's a little bit of that in there. But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, for sure, we want to be the leader in cryptocurrency, And of course, VeChain is my sponsor, guys. If you want to check out VeChain, links to everything is in the description of this video. And if you're watching over on X, in the first comment, I have put out lots of VeChain content on my different platforms, Instagram, TikTok. You can check those out in the description. And as time goes on, I'll, talk more and more about VeChain, but obviously OG project in the space, huge ecosystem of tokens and different apps that are just trying to better the space and try to bring mass adoption. Just try to bring mass adoption and bring people more on chain. And obviously one of the bigger sponsors of my favorite sport in the UFC, fastest growing sport in the world. I think still, I don't know. But let's hang out in the live stream. Let's talk with some people here. So we're going to be going for about 35, 45 minutes. These are not going to be long streams, guys, but we're going to get back to streams probably 2 to 3 times a week. I think that's manageable. What's up, Kayla? Let me go back to the top here. Pepe says 2028 is in like 50 years. Dude, it's already halfway through the year pretty much. We're already halfway to 2026, which is fucking crazy. Like, if you think about it, like, it makes sense because as you get older, a year becomes a smaller portion of your life, so it seems faster. So crazy. Warzewski says SWI is the future. I agree. Krusty says Richard Hart crushes the SEC. I think that the reason why Richard Hart got out of the whole SEC case was because we have new management. Mariah says, I dig a hole in my yard and pretend I'm just a potato. When my husband's not home, just kidding, I'm dead. Set on XRP and SHIB. And lastly, Pepe. XRP, SHIB, and Pepe, not bad bags to have. Was that a poem, Mariah? Honda says, man, how can anyone buy these overpriced cryptos and expect 100x? I think the winning strategy, though, is really slowly buying into top cryptos over time. Meme coins are just a big gamble, and most of the time you lose on them, or you have to find them early. Meme coins like Pepe on SWI, right? Fast and informative. Thank you, Rodney. You're very welcome. Easy next cycle, 500K. Yeah, I agree. I think, what was his name? The former CEO of Twitter, Jack something, says, Bitcoin to $1 million by 2030. Honda says, Pulse, Rodney, you want banger memes? Yeah, Pulse Chain's pretty good. I like SWI though, man. SWI's my favorite place for meme coins right now, even over Solana. SWI really gives me Early Solana vibes. The Roaring Toady says, let's go, Legend. It's Turbo time. Shout out to the Turbo community. How's Turbo doing, actually? Turbo, obviously, one of the first AI meme coin, you could say. 371 million. That's not bad. 371 million market cap. That's not bad. Actually, the chart looks pretty good compared to most meme coin charts. Not bad. Axel the Bengal Cat, what's up? What's up? What's up? Honda says alien tokens, bonded liquidity, buy and burned, plus reflections, deflationary positions. Sounds like a white paper from a meme coin, right? Yes, I'm alive, Kayla. We're going to get some more streams in, but probably twice a week or 3 times, maybe a random weekend streams. But I'm thinking Tuesday, Thursdays for streams. And it'll be better, too, because we get more news. Because the truth is, nothing's really happening every day in the crypto space. Kind of. It's like recycled stuff. Denny is a Chad, for sure. Denny is a huge Chad. I agree. Gaming is the only way mass adoption of crypto is going to happen. I mean, I think that's happening right now, but it'd be a big way. The issue is, like, with crypto gaming, like, they have like an inflation problem. Like, some of the games are fun. Like, I was really into Spider Tanks on Gala Games. I thought it was fucking extremely fun. But when you're giving like in-game rewards for different tokens and stuff, and it's just hard. Like, it's hard. So making a gaming system, I think, is the best way to go. Chart Finvesta for me, Roddy. Need your opinion. If it's a small, I don't want to do like TA on small cap meme coins. It doesn't make sense. Let me see. But thank you so much for the 3 donations so far, you fucking maniac. I think, yeah, 3 donations. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Finvesta. I think this is it right here. 20 million market cap. Let's see. We'll go to the monthly chart. If it switches over. So Pulse Chain, meme coin. Volume's pretty bad. This is the monthly chart. It's not actually bad for a meme coin that's been around since what? July 2023. That's pretty crazy. So meme coin on Pulse Chain, 20 million market cap size, 600K liquidity, 7.7 thousand holders, and the 14K volume. So obviously the volume's not there, but I mean, I suppose if I don't know too much about Pulse Chain, to be honest. I'm kind of sore when it comes to the Pulse Chain ecosystem because I sacrificed to the fucking whatever. Pretty much, I got scammed. Pretty much, all that volume going to exchanges for fees instead of burning supply on chain and actually benefiting the network. I don't know, man. Swee's dominating, and it shows in the market cap size. Kayla says Arbitrum has the worst games and network issues. If I'm honest, I'm still waiting on someone to prove me wrong. I don't really mess with the Arbitrum ecosystem at all. Bleeding Gum says he's right. I think he was talking about Kevin O'Leary. I agree. Glenn says need the live streams back. Yes, sir. YouTube won't let me text all in one word. Let's see. Just buy the dips and hodl. It's the only way. I think so, really. And in my opinion, it's like with safer, you could say, nothing safe in crypto, but safer plays like Bitcoin and those sorts of things. I just think so, Yeah, Jack Dorsey. Thank you, Krusty. Yeah, Jack Dorsey said that Bitcoin was going to hit $1 million by 2030. Put profits in alts and conviction plays, man. Bitcoin and Sui has to be the one, right? Jayox says, think I was wrong about May. Yeah, I think you were wrong. Jayox said the market was going to dump, but it hasn't. And a lot of that is too, and I haven't really talked about it here, a lot of it is due to like, the tariff situation kind of getting handled. I don't know what to believe, to be honest, because some weeks we see, the U.S. saying we're having, great trade talks with China. And then the next piece of news comes out, says China says none of that's true. I don't fucking know. We still got wars going. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's fucking going on. Is the war going to end? I don't know, right? I don't know. A price prediction for XRP, I think $10 a cycle is fair. A lot of people don't like that because they want me to say like $50,000 or something crazy like that. But if you look at it, I mean, XRP is not too far off from flipping Ethereum. And for a while, it was a 2x away from flipping Ethereum. But Ethereum had a nice little pump over the last month. I think we're up quite significantly over the last month. Yeah, 57% for Ethereum over the last month, which is crazy. But man, Sui at one point like pumped, or 1 week pumped like 100% or something crazy. Sui's up 82% over the last month. Let's see. Over the last year, 200%. Yeah, but I mean, 82% over the last month is crazy. I mean, all the top alts look pretty good, but Sui was looking really good. Jayog, it's good to see you back. What's up, bud? How we doing, bud? Bro, my nephew who's graduating asked for Roblox gift cards. Look how much kids make their parents spend on games. Dude, I've seen so many like stories of like kids like stealing their parents' credit cards, or like they're already entered into like an iPad or something and they just buy like in-game assets. Like that's a common thing. Dude, grown adults spend massive amount of money on like FIFA, NBA 2K, different skins and different games. Like it's a big industry. And if crypto can become a part of that at all, and I don't know what projects can do that. Like, Sui may be the closest one, Me too, down 50% on Pulse Sacrifice. Yeah. I still got my tokens, but JDM says, Rodney, when Roaring Kitty? That's not something I'm in, but this just in, none of us can predict the future. Yeah, absolutely, right? Please press log on the chart, Rodney. Bottom right hand corner. What does this do? Why does it change it right here? What is this charting? The price? Because, yeah, the price has gone up. What is this charting? God damn, what did this start off as? This literally started off as fractions of a penny. Like 4 zeros, 4? And 20. I don't know what this means. What's up, Katoshi? How you doing? Or Cock Toshi? It's from the Cock Inu community. How's Cock Inu doing, actually? Let's see. Our favorite dick joke of a meme coin, Cock Inu. Oh, damn! Up 20% on the day? What's up? What's going on with Cock Inu? Obviously, a far cry from its all-time high, but what's our market cap at? 64 million? What was the all-time high for this? Like 600 million? It says 400 million, but I think it was 600 million. I left, motherfucker. You just never talk to me anymore. I'm over here living my best life in Florida. You know what I mean? Dodd to the moon. Yo, this is a Gigashrius. Shout out to the Giga Chad community. I keep seeing dad in the chat, so I say dad, but shout out to the Giga Chad community. Appreciate y'all. Linear is a normal chart which slowly shows explosions and dumps. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. So when we show these, is this like, what is this though? I mean, we're used to regular charts here. This can't be like what it's closed at every month, right? Poopy but eat it to the moon? Absolutely. I am King says, what's up, King? Says, what the fuck is up, all you degenerates, on this Tuesday? Hope you're doing well, Kings. Log changes the scale so that 0 to 1 occupies the same vertical space as 10 to 10, then 10 to 100, then 100 to... Okay, that way one can see the resolution of those tiny booms. Okay, that makes sense. Well, hey, it looks good. But obviously they need more volume, right? But, volume comes and goes. Let's see their website. I understand, whatever. Give me some computer aids. I don't care. Finvesta ecosystem. I've looked at a lot of charts my day, or a lot of websites in charts my day, and the hell is Dodd? Is it E4? Is it 4chan community in CoinGecko? Okay, so log always shows me the real chart. Okay, all right. What's up, Cody? How we doing, baby? What the fuck's Dodd? You guys are rating my stream. I guess I have to look it up, right? DOD. Is it like... Oh, we got to look up a donation first. We got a $5 donation from Mike. Says, Decay, Whisper of Decay, new game coming, low market cap, and the team is solid. 100K market cap on Epic Games, and glad to make a live Rodney. Mike, thank you so much for the $5 donation with your cute little white kitty. Little white pussy. And the PFP, DK. I guess I can look that up since you donated DK. 100K market cap, though, is crazy, bro. What's it called? Decay. Whisper of Decay? Whispers. Okay, I think it's this right here. Whispers of Decay. Okay. Yeah, 100K market cap, literally $200 in volume. It's a game? I don't know about a game, bro. Unleash the magic, conquer the future. Oh, it's a game. So it's actually a game. I mean, I don't know. Crypto, I mean, this looks like a bad website, but this is from Epic Games. Also, the first-person shooter. I mean, you could make this real quick. Like somebody skilled can make this. They could whip this up in half an hour, right? I don't know. Look up the game first. Is it? So it's an actual game, but like they made a token. Like the community made a token of it. I don't know. Disco says, nice t-shirt, bro. Shout out to the Giga community. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for the drip. Appreciate you. There's a playable game in beta, but early but solid team. Hopefully they can make it work. Seems like another run-of-the-mill, first-person shooter, but hopefully not to burst your bubble. But check DOD. What is DOD? And I was trying to get a new keyboard. DOD. There's like Dodo. Let me see on Dex. Dex screener is probably that move. Small Dodo. This is your king. 150 mark or 150 or $115,000 market cap size. Small Dodo. Shout out to Dodo. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the raid, but no. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream. Just want to do a quick little 45-minute stream. We're going to do a couple of these a week for sure. Tuesday, Thursdays. We'll see what's up with a set schedule in the future, but we'll definitely be doing more since we're partnered with VeChain and whatnot. And be on the lookout for VeChain content. So I think crypto benefits gaming in the picks, shovels, not so much in the actual game itself. Absolutely. I think so too. Yeah. You do not want to buy high volume. Well, Honda, real quick before I dip out, I think volume shows the interest. You do want to buy. You definitely want to trade high volume, but I think that you do want to buy high volume. But literally, like, people can fake volume, especially in the meme coin space. All right, you little weirdos. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Thank you so much, Caleb.